don't get the chance to play Three Dog Night very often on this show, Eli. Good to see you, brother.
It's good to see you, Terry. It's a beautiful Groundhog Day, isn't it?
The groundhog did see his shadow, which means 6 more weeks of this. Who cares?
We'll take that.
Sounds great, doesn't it?
I'll live with it.
Dr. Eli Karam is president-elect of the Kentucky Marriage and Family Therapists Group, and you're taking that over when? Later this year?
Yeah, 60 days. I'll be the president of the KAMFT.
KAMFT. Welcome aboard, brother. Hey, I just played a clip off of American Idol last night. Did you hear that? Were you in the studio when I played that?
I did hear that, of the poor woman who got cheated on and held back, and now she's chasing her dream.
She's chasing her dream. Let's start right there, my friend.
Sure.
Obviously, you talk to couples where things are not going so well. Not always. Sometimes they just need a little refresher course, maybe.
Sure. Also, MFTs will talk to individuals getting over an affair, or sometimes when the relationship has ended, like this woman. So kind of keys to move on. So you said she did a couple of good things in that she's followed her dream. What you don't want to do is let the drama and your resentment towards your ex kind of dominate you. So maybe she used it as motivation initially, but then eventually these successful individuals that move on post-divorce or break up into more healthy relationships, they let that drama go. They focus on something that is not tied to the ex. So initial motivation, good. If you keep hanging on to it, even your friends are going to get tired of it.
Yeah, after a while, if you keep saying the same thing over and over, that person is a no-good rat cheater.
We've heard it. Right.
We've heard it, and then you become an annoyance, and then they see your name pop up on their phone, and they go, ooh. Right. Better let that go to voicemail.
Exactly. And a lot of people alienate themselves from their friendship networks because they don't know when to let it go. And what starts out as being a sympathetic person really turns in, as you said, to annoyance. And sometimes our friends, too, they unnecessarily stir the drama. We could be well on our way to moving on into our next relationship or our next thing, if you will. And
how's Jimmy doing?
Right. And our friends keep bringing it up. Or, Louisville is a big, small town. I always say I was away for 13 years and I came back, and you run into people you went to school with and you see people and they bring this up. So you might be moving on and somebody's telling you about your ex and you really don't want to hear about it.
Isn't it good, though, for you to say that to your friend? I'd be better off if we just kind of moved past that chapter.
Hey, actually, I'm doing pretty well. So, if you want to support me, again, best thing you could do is let's don't give this guy or girl, in this case, any more airtime. Let's just move on. I'm doing well.
I did sneak a listen to the end of that bite. Of course they sent her to Hollywood. I didn't even listen to her sing. I went right to the end so I could hear, dog, we'll see you in Hollywood, dog.
Yeah, I bet she was attractive, too. That generally helps on that show. But it helps moving on, too. There's a lot of research, when somebody mentally and physically can get back on track, they're able to move on, versus somebody that really is caught up on their ex because they don't think they can get someone of similar intellect or physical attractiveness again.
Let's stay in this same thought process. Let's say you were with someone who berated you, who told you don't look good, you're fat, you're unattractive, you're this, you're that, and ran you down. Some people do that. They have this weird need to debase the person they're with, and then eventually the person gets strong enough to leave them, or whatever, their relationship collapses. How does a person collect themselves so they can get back into a healthier relationship?
Yeah, kind of the doormat effect. We've been used to taking it for so long. People say, well, where does that come from? It's usually in your reflected sense of self that you got from growing up, your early relationships, whether that be your parents or your first dating relationship. So I think the key to that is to know, just because someone's saying that, that's not true. So people generally have to develop that confidence and esteem from within, or finding people like those partners that play to the worst part of themselves or their insecurities. So it's really important to do that individual work. MFTs, again, will do a lot of work, just because the name is Marriage and Family Therapist. They do work with individuals, too, as far as rebuilding their kind of self-esteem so they can go and be successful in relationships. Yeah, but you gotta, I guess the tip is you can't believe that about yourself, because if you put those vulnerabilities out there, those buttons are easy to push by pretty much everybody.
Why is it, though, that some people are drawn to others who are not nice to them?
Right. Maybe it's the challenge. Some people don't like kind of instant validation, and some people think about, if you don't like something about yourself and somebody gives you a compliment about it, Terry, you don't find it as a compliment. It does not reflect, even if that person is being sincere, how you view yourself. So sometimes we find people that confirm this worst parts of ourselves, our insecurities, and people are kind of a glutton for their own punishment, if you will. And again, as I said, that can stem back to early relationships, whether it be not getting the approval you needed from a parent, either same sex or opposite sex, or in your early relationships, or from your sibling. My twin brother. I love him, but he's pretty hard on me. So I find myself sometimes regressing back to a childhood state, even though I do this professionally. I work with people and all of their problems. So when you put me in the room with my brother, it kind of triggers me in ways that probably no one else can trigger me.
That's interesting. Let me play doctor for a minute. How come so many other twins that I've met love hanging out with each other?
Yeah.
There were two guys in a band that was on the TV show the other morning, and they love working together, although one of them is sort of the leader.
Yeah.
So in a twins relationship, that's not necessarily the case, because you want to get in a room and hit your brother with a pillow.
Correct. Or like those Sklar twins we had on the show when I was here last year. And right. my wife is, I think I told you, has a twin, and her twin is her best friend, and they are identical. And I think I was in a twin study at the University of Louisville. Got me interested in psychology growing up. And I think my brother and I were always close but conflictual. So twins are different. I mean, we were fraternal. But, nobody, as I always say, whether it be a sibling relationship or your parents, we are our best and our worst around the people we're closest to. So we show them sides of ourselves that we would not show other people. And they know how to push our buttons to real prime ways. And I think what we're saying is a lot of those buttons that are pushed in childhood can be pushed in later adult relationships and romantic relationships.
I think most people have been in a room before with someone who's kind of losing their noodle. And the phone rings, they go, hello, and they can switch it. So you kind of think, wait a minute, what happened here? Mm-hmm. I was watching one show, and all of a sudden they flip the switch because, hello, yes, I'll call you back.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, all right then.
And getting back to this clip, it's like the same thing. How do we walk into these same patterns in other relationships? And a lot of people come into marriage and family first. So I don't know why I'm always get cheated on or why I always get betrayed. And if there are recurrent patterns in your relationships, your romantic relationships, you got to kind of go look back to the source and again, see what you're lacking within as far as your own confidence or self-esteem.
Sit tight. We're going to do another segment here in a few minutes about our forthcoming sporting weekend. People who love the sports all throughout the year, and a partner who does not. Dr. Eli Karam, he's online at elikaram.com, and it's Karam. We're back in 2 minutes here on 84 WHAS.